Welcome to Timeless Conversations. Today, my guest is someone whom I have known about, but I never met in person, one-on-one. So I'm meeting him today. But he's also someone by cultural links that I can claim ownership of his wife, because his wife is my egbon from our hometown, Ikorodu. I know that in our culture, you can chance people and say, oh, Mopa nominieni. You understand? But this man is a broadcaster's broadcaster. He's an actor's actor. He's a writer's writer. He's someone who simply loves to be called Ron Mgbatogu. Uncle Ron, you're welcome. I broke your rule.
Which of the rules did you break, man? No.
Simply Ron.
Simply Ron. I thought so. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's really nice meeting you for the first time.
It's wonderful to finally meet the man when he called me, when he sent me a message saying, no, we could have this, since I didn't know who you were, and the name just sounded chiefly, so I said, I called you Chief.
Chief.
And then you said, no, you truly,
Chief.
Chief.
Yes.
So I'm glad to be here, Chief.
Yes, thank you. Now, your sojourn into broadcasting, how did it start?
I'd asked you, what's the purpose of this interview?
Just conversations.
He said conversations. Okay, conversations, if they are to be good, should be truthful.
Yes.
So I got into broadcasting by sheer accident. As I think you suspect, I wasn't a very bright student.
I cannot suspect that. I don't have the right to.
So after my higher school, at Ibadan Grammar School,
Yes.
I didn't make the grades I thought I should make. So I thought, okay, I better do this right. So I had 1 year. This was 1966. So I'd better do 1 year to remedy that mistake. So I first of all took on a teaching profession in a school called Baptist College, somewhere in Ibadan. But I think my parents thought, if you stayed long in this teaching thing, you might get to like it and not move on to other things. So they plucked me out of that place. And then, through my brother-in-law, Christopher Nwobu, who's late now, who was in broadcasting, he said, Ron is a good speaker, so probably he would do well in broadcasting. So I went to Enugu and joined broadcasting.
Oh.
That was in 1966.
Yeah.
And I'd been there, and I was there until I was plucked out of there to go into advertising after 12 years.
You spent 12 years straight in broadcasting.
In broadcasting, yes, 12 years. I saw, good question. Now, what my parents didn't want to happen. Happened. Because teaching didn't catch me.
Broadcasting did?
Broadcasting held me by the guts. And I stayed there.
Well, you're still there. Because I hear that they don't retire from that profession.
You're right. But I let myself go because when Dimka struck, I was in the studio.
Oh, you were one of those people?
Yes.
Wow.
And the way it happened, one of his men called Major Rabo,
yes,
came into broadcasting house and really met me one-on-one. I just finished the news on Voice of Nigeria at 7:30. Haven't finished the 7 o'clock in the national studios. and I finished the 7:30 news on Voice of Nigeria. I came out to drop the bulletin in the studio, because that was a blind studio from where I read. And I came in there, dropping the bulletin on the announcer's desk when the door opened and Major Abu came in with an AK-47 and a breath full of scotch and probably brandy.
This was in 1976.
That was 1976.
February 13th.
You remember the date? I don't remember dates. So, and he said to me, be dead at home. Any movement, you are dead. Be dead at ease. Now, 3 statements he made, all are dead.
Dead.
I didn't want to die.
Yes.
And I said, no, nothing going on. You see what is going on? The voice you're hearing is not my voice. It's coming from that tape that is running. So should we stop it so that there be no sound anymore? He said, yeah, stop it. And I asked the guy who was manning the place, please stop the tape, because the officer said, stop the tape. But that experience was so shocking to me, because I could easily have been killed by this man who was high.
Yes, very.
If they've managed to kill the head of state,
Yes.
what Ron Mgbatogu would be to them? Just wasted. So that's where my journey in broadcasting began to really stop.
And screech.
And to a halt. So by 78 I left.
We'll come to
all of that.
Why you left, and what you did.
Okay.
You went into advertising. We'll need to talk about how you were taken there, but let's still talk about what you were in broadcasting.
Okay.
The starting point in broadcasting in your days was quite different from what the starting point is today.
Yes. I started off as a studio manager, and under the leadership of Mr. Sam Waniri, who was the controller of the Eastern Broadcasting, Eastern section of the NBC.
NBC.
Yeah, because there was also the Eastern Nigerian Broadcasting.
Yes.
So I don't want to confuse both. We are far superior to that. So I started as a studio manager. A studio manager was like a little bit of a technician, an engineer managing the controls, managing the
volume. Who superintends the machines.
The machine, that's it. That's a nice way to put it, yes. So that's why I started off as. And I don't know what caused Mr. Waniri to ask me to go to NBC Port Harcourt. In the Eastern region then, Enugu was the headquarters of the region. But then they had small stations in Onitsha and then one in Port Harcourt. So he sent me to Port Harcourt. And that's where I now began to be a speaker on radio. And that's where I think all of it started really.
Coming together.
Because then in that role, I managed the controls and the equipment, and I also spoke.
So that's like being a DJ straight.
It was like being a DJ straight. You were in control of everything. When you say the station has opened, it opened because only you are there.
Yes.
The other person that is there is a technician manning the transmitter.
Yes.
So it was a beautiful time.
And as a young person then, you saw the world open up.
Yeah. That was when I began the habit of listening to the BBC regularly. And
that's a habit that's difficult to break.
Absolutely impossible to break. Because just open your eyes to the entire world. Before you got onto the station, you knew what had happened in the world. You knew the names of those. You were informed of the newsmakers of that day. You knew them. You knew the locations of those volcanoes, those elections, everything.
Yes.
And so it was. I mean, you woke up feeling alive. That I'm part of this world because I know what's going on.
And I can also tell others what's
going on. So they have to depend on me.
Yes.
And so when you play the music, you peppered it with all of those kind of things that are going on. And we wonder,
where did you get it from? Now, because of the fact that you started off from what in other climes they call a gap year, and let me try something else. And you found yourself sucked into the world
of broadcasting. Great world.
A great world.
Great world. Must always be a great world.
It sounds like a bias that you are not apologetic for. because that's also where you met your wife.
Yeah.
In broadcasting.
In broadcasting, yes.
You joined a proud group of broadcasters who married each other.
Yes.
Tell me a little about that. I got you there.
You got me here, so you got me there. So, you really she also came in to broadcasting through the same studio management, platform, and it's a bit of rascal isn't so nice a word to come from me, but I was a bit of
okay, you're speaking of yourself now.
Of myself, yes.
Okay.
So I was
there are certain things I would not be able to say.
No, of course I know.
So if I catch them, I can.
You can
notify.
Fine. That's all right. That's why you're boss man here. So we got to meet, and a very interesting meeting, and we liked each other, and we wanted to move matters forward. Our parents weren't as eager as we were
initially,
and initially it looks very temporary, because they weren't as eager as we were for 7 years.
It's still initial, because you've been together for longer than that now.
Yeah, initially. Okay, fine. That kind of comparison. Yes, that's true. So that's how I met Murayo. That's her name, and that's why you can claim whatever you claim, and it will be difficult to say.
Don't say that's how I can claim whatever I claim. It's my claim to claim.
I like the way it sounds. It's my claim to claim, and it's my prerogative to listen to you and
recognize the fact that
you can claim. And then consumer
exactly.
I was going to say Bawa, but that's not.
It doesn't matter. So Bawa. If you say Bawa, my answer will be Bawa. No, because the truth of all these things, you know that your darling wife, Auntie Morayo, is my Egbon, and you can't say we're not related because we're from Ikorodu.
Yes.
And in Ikorodu we recognize ourselves as
absolutely.
Please, sir.
No, it's been a major. That's my mainstay. That's my mainstay. I'm blessed indeed, for knowing her, and for her being by my side up until now.
Great.
7 years plus now, 40-something years now. Yeah, so really, we're more than 15 years of relationship.
Awesome. So 7 years out of it,
initially,
because 7 years.
Yeah,
50. Sir, you have done great.
Yeah, it's that's why I nicknamed her Mama Yard, because she's the queen of
the household.
Of the household, yes.
She runs it.
She runs it, yes.
You told me she picked this.
Oh, she did. She said. I said to her, "What am I going to write tomorrow? I have this interview at Plus TV." Said, so what do you think of me writing? I mentioned something. Said, no. And I walked away from where she was and got into the wardrobe and said, take this, and take this. Said, no. So white pants? Said, yes. I've got two. And I said, no, is it this white or this white? No, said, take this one. So she chose it.
She's really Mama Yard.
She's in control.
You're used to it.
And look, not messing around.
And you know, having someone by your side,
Yes,
like you said, is very important as we go through life.
absolutely.
Your experience, especially at work, would have meant that no matter what happens in the office, you have someone you can relate to, and
Yeah.
relate with at home.
Yeah. Let me just go back because of what you just said now
Yes,
to that February 13, 76 date.
yes,
A guy called Tony Bembuna,
yes. I know him.
yeah, was a producer in Voice of Nigeria. And after that 7:30 news, there'd be from the editorials. And it was responsibility of Tony to write the editorials for the announcer to read.
To read.
So Tony must have been listening to the 7:30 news on Voice of Nigeria, waiting for his from the editorials to run after the commentary,
And he didn't hear it.
and he didn't hear it. Rather, he heard that there has been a coup,
Cool, yes.
and so he was living in Makoko. He drove straight from Makoko,
Straight into the cool.
no, to my house,
To your house, oh, beautiful.
to say that Muriah is there, and the girl can panic and say, they may have killed my...
Husband.
So, when eventually, that Friday, I managed to tell the soldiers who had gathered in the premises to say that, no, I was hungry. This was about 10:30 now. I was hungry, that I only came to read the news at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 10 o'clock before going home. No, 7:30, 8:30 before going back home, and therefore I was hungry. And they said, so where is your car? I said, that's my car. I used to ride a very unique Beetle then. It had black fenders, the white car, but had black fenders. So it was the only one in town. I don't think any other person had.
I can see black and white.
So the soldier said, so that's your car? I said, yes. So he said, no, you can go now. So as soon as I said, so Shalom jumped into the car, Vincent jumped into the car, and one other person I can't remember. So we then drove off from the place. So I drove straight home. I was living in Copper then, St. Finbar's Road. And lo and behold, St. Finbar's Road, if you know the road, is a very long road. So you're coming from Unilag End, and as you're approaching, I saw Tony Bembuna and Muriah on the balcony looking out for whether I would show.
Sure.
So when they saw the black and white coming, I could see them. This man is alive. So it's nice to know that you have someone
at home. Yes.
At home,
Yes. And in all these years now of marriage, what would you describe as one thing that still draws you to her?
Now that's one thing. That's difficulty. Yeah.
You can give an amalgamation of things.
Yeah, it's Muriah is multifaceted, so it's difficult to. You could always know that she'll say what really is from her heart over any matter. She's afraid of no one. You couldn't intimidate her. So if you asked her about anything, she just summed it up and told you, this is it. So I liked her forthrightness. Yes, that's brilliant. It's amazing. And she's kept that.
Yes. And
youthfulness.
oh, youthfulness.
Youthfulness. Yeah, youthfulness. Oh yes, so youthfulness. I mean, she's almost 75, but no, she still wears tiny. What do they call those jeans that hug the skin?
Oh, those tight
jeans. You know, she's at home with all of those kind of things.
That's good.
She's a marvelous girl.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That's good, and you're proud of her.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Now let's come back to your time still in broadcasting. I recall that at a particular time you were Kalauju.
Yeah. Kalauju in Gandu Street.
Gandu Street, yeah.
Gandu Street, yes.
Gandu Street first.
Yes.
You were also in Citizen Muda later.
Yeah, that was my first acting role. And I don't know who started Gandu Street, whether it is Ire and Akimio or Agboshiko Ade. I don't know who started that.
I know that Agboshiko Ade's name was
associated
with it.
Yes. So, but they thought, I could do Kalauju. Kalauju was supposed to be a bit of a rough diamond. By his name, he just was a no-nonsense kind of person.
It didn't have anything to do with your natural face?
Now you're making a comment.
I'm asking the question.
Okay.
I'm asking a question.
I honestly, I don't know how that got to be. I don't know how somebody. I don't know how I was figured to do Kalauju.
Especially on radio.
It's still amazing.
Yes.
There are people, I know people who still call me by that moniker. But you see, the comment you made,
Yes.
no, the question you asked, you said you made a comment.
It was a question.
The question you asked, now I'm trying to put it in context. When I was at Ibadan Grammar School for higher school,
Yes.
We were a group of three. There was John Ohuyerenwan, there was Shogadada, and there was Ron Mgbatogu. And we were a little bit of terror. And so the younger ones, because I came into grammar school to do only higher school.
Yes.
So I met these two guys who came from one to higher school.
Yes.
And so the guys around knew them already. But when I then came into that mix to become a trio, they then felt that something was the matter with them, if not with me.
Yes.
And so they began to call me Matomio. So probably, I'm just thinking, if those kids were calling me Matomio then,
Yes.
what is something to do with your face?
Yeah, yes, yes. That explains it.
Maybe that explains it.
Yes.
But then that dovetails into when I was invited to play my first major role on television in Battleground.
Yes.
And I got to play the role of General Horace Njoko.
Yes.
Now probably there's really something to all of that.
Yes.
Because I was told that the role was earmarked for somebody else, who by his looks naturally evoked terror. But then the producer thought and sold the idea that we could use somebody whose face doesn't necessarily portend terror.
Oh, so much terror.
Or so much terror, but was capable of terror.
Yes.
So
And then it blended together, and it came out so well, so well.
So I was told.
Yes. So I am affirming. Yes, it came out so well, and one will go back to watch that any day. Can't ever get tired of watching it. Now, you said something about the moniker. I heard of another moniker.
Okay.
Who came up with the title of Ron Mgbatogu?
Oh my word.
Let's hold it for now. We'll take a break.
Okay,
And then
I'm coming back.
How did Ron Mgbatogu? Stay tuned. Yes, welcome back. I still have my guest, simply Ron Mgbatogu, but Uncle Ron, to me, we're Africans.
Yeah, difficult.
In those days, it was easier for you people to just mention other people's names, but for people like me, they will beat me at home.
And rightly so too.
Yeah, so how did you come about that? Do you remember it?
I blame only one person for that. His name is Debo Mabo. He lives in North Carolina now, I think.
Yes, I know him very well too.
Oh, you do?
Oh yes.
Okay.
So went to CMS Grammar School.
Oh, see, that's true.
My school.
Okay. So, but you see, the fact of the matter is that my surname isn't a very regular name,
common
Igbo name.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not common. And so people have struggled with it.
What does the name mean by that?
Okay. The name is a longish name. Mgbatogu Ebunam.
Okay, that's the full.
That's the full thing.
That's the full story.
That's the full story. It means that if I was trying to separate two people who are fighting, I mustn't go down for it.
Oh.
So
there's a lot of wisdom.
There's a lot of wisdom in it. Yes. So it's Mgbatogu. Rememi do. Mgbatogu. Yes.
Okay.
So because people struggle with pronouncing it, I started primary school in Ibara, Abeokuta.
Okay.
At St. Andrews Primary School.
Was your dad in the railway?
No, he was in the PWD.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was on
that's more entrenched by the railway.
He was moving all over the place.
Yes.
So so my surname had been mangled, over the years, over the decades. Mgbatogu Shokowi. You know my in-laws. They are good with family.
You know us.
Yeah, I know very well. I've been around here for a long time. So I don't know whether I told Debo that story.
Yes.
But then one day, in his own wisdom, rascally wisdom, he then said, he then said, Mgbatogu. So I said, what is this? Even at this age, he said, no, Mama will not be, I can't pronounce your name very well. So just live with Ron Mgbatogu. So that's how
it started.
And all kinds of people, got into the fray.
But it's interesting, how creative people get when they're being rascals. It's true, sir. You said something about being lured or dragged into advertising.
Yeah.
My research said to me that you were headhunted into Lintas.
Into Lintas, yes. As I told you, from 1976 February, my mind began to really go off radio, because I thought the way Nigeria was, there just might be another coup, and I just mightn't be too lucky. So, and I said, there's a gentleman who's called Mr. Bruce Obiagele, a very senior person in radio. He had just come back from the UK, where he was the NBC representative in London. So he then sent for me and said, well, his brother wanted to see me. His brother happened to be Mark Obiagele. Mark is late now.
Yes.
And I didn't know Mark then. And I got into Mr. Bruce Obiagele's office, and there was Mark, and he said, he was a very charming fellow, like his elder brother. And we greeted, and he said, no, we'd like you to come and join us in Lintas. I don't know what they saw. I just wanted to be out of broadcasting house. That's all I wanted at that point in time. So that's I got into Lintas, and I like the feel of Lintas. I like the structure of Lintas. I like the integrity of Lintas. I like the air of Lintas. I like their pedigree. So they stood out for me as the right place to be. Having gone through radio, earned my stripes, if I say so myself.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's why we're here.
So that's how I got into advertising. It was fun time.
It was a different world for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Radio, you are telling stories to people, but you are not expecting any particular response from them.
Yes. In those days.
In those days, okay.
These days they respond.
They do. Yeah. But in advertising, you are telling stories, but you are expecting them to take a certain action because you told them to do so. So the dynamics were different and they were challenging. So if you are telling a story in advertising, there was an end game.
I'm still intrigued, though, that they came in search of you, a broadcaster, good diction, good newscasting, good presentation, skills and all that. And then you morphed into a great copywriter. Had there been that in you before? I did my research.
You did. See, I've got to backtrack to secondary school days.
Yes, please.
I think this is the first time I'm saying so, but let me say it now, since I'm here.
Yes.
I started primary school in Abeokuta.
Yes.
In 1955, my parents were transferred to PWD in Ikeja. So I finished primary school in Ikeja in 1958. And I was to enter Igbobi College in 1959.
Yes.
But come November, December of 1958, my parents were transferred to Benin.
Oh.
And I'm the only son of my parents. My mother couldn't stomach, leaving her only son in Lagos and be in Benin. So we went on vacation for the Christmas period, and then they somewhere along the line left, went to Benin to look for a school, and they found Edo College. So I was supposed to now go to Edo College, having now lost the chance of going to Igbobi. And they came back home and told me that no, it is Edo College you'll be going to come January 1959. Before the Christmas ran out, they got a cablegram or whatever my dad got to say, no, it's Akure that you're going to be going to. So we landed in Akure.
Wow.
And now the king said, no, we can't live in Benin and be living in Akure. No. So yanked me. I didn't even enter. So we just got.
Shifting along.
They were shifting along, and so they came to Akure and began to look for secondary school where this boy could be. There were 2 secondary schools then in Akure for boys. There was St. Aquinas, Catholic, and we're Anglicans, and so they said no. American Grammar School was headed by Reverend Adilewa. The school was founded by the Anglican community in Akure.
Okay.
So that was a natural
perfect fit.
Perfect fit. While there, I had a teacher, a Scottish gentleman, Reverend Richard Childerstone. He took me in English language and literature. And that's where my interest in language started from. I had 2 major interests then. One was I was a bit of an artist. I could draw and stuff. And then language. Of course, I had a third interest. I was a barber. So that's where it started from. So when I came,
that's also creative,
Of course it is. Being a barber, yes, know what fits you, all the structures of your head and all that. So when I got into advertising, I got in as a client service person.
Yes.
Which lended itself now to my presentation skills and all that. And I stayed in that avenue for a long time. But then I always had an interest in words. Then, unlike now, I read a lot more. Oh, I don't read anymore. Actually, the first time one of my good friends, Kevin Ejiofor, saw my wife, I was preparing for the National Sports Festival, and I was to cover cricket, a cricket ground in Nikon. And Kevin, who was normally a commentator for sports, was around, and then saw Mariah for the very first time, and I said, "Oh, that's the girl." She was reading Leon Ulis's. I can't remember the title of the book, but usually Leon Ulis wrote voluminous books, and she was reading one book on that occasion. And as soon as Kevin saw her reading a book, and all the activity going on, I said that the bug has caught her. Because I was interested in words and the language. So all along advertising, I received creative work from great people like Ted Mukoro, and I had an input into what they were doing. Even though it is just now, for the want of what to say, so did you think about so and so with this? And sometimes they brought the idea. So I like words. Nobody ever paid me for being a copywriter, though, in advertising.
Oh, they didn't?
No. They just paid me strictly as a client service person. Yes.
But you wrote to now head one of the branches or offshoots of
Renters, yes. Where I had a bit more control of words that went into copy.
Okay.
Because I had Wale Adepitu as the creative director, and I was his boss, and he could listen to what the boss said.
Okay.
But he had the final statement on creative work. I could only just influence whatever he was doing.
Okay, but thinking of merit, that experience for you, somebody who started work by accident, how would you summarize the advertising experience for you before we talk about what you do now in retirement? How would you summarize it?
You know, yesterday somebody sent me a message, said, no, my son, good morning, sir. My son is so-and-so, just founded a company called so-and-so. I hear you were in advertising. I'm sure you could help, him find his bearing in the industry. And I promptly responded, good morning, madam. Yes, you're right about being in advertising for some time, but I left it more than about 2 decades ago. So I hardly know anybody in the industry right now, and it has changed from what I used to know very, very clearly. So I can now say and look at advertising and say that isn't what really I knew. It's so different now. It's been fragmented into little bits and pieces that are all making money, but difficult to put together as I used to know it. So, but then that's the nature of life. The Igbos have a saying, which is also a name, Inoroka, Iforoka. If you live a little longer, you'll see a little more. And God's been kind, to keep me here for 78 years, going 79. So I'm seeing a lot of changes in life that, it's enriching my experience, but difficult to contend with.
Because I was going to ask you about you used the word fragmentation.
Yes.
I was going to even use something more drastic. I was going to say the hacking of the practice.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Things that were done under one roof before have now been broken into
little bits and pieces
and all that.
Yes.
And how would one look at that as an advancement of creativity?
You see, when I was in broadcasting, and for a long time, even after broadcasting, I read Time Magazine, Newsweek, and Reader's Digest regularly. Those three were staple. I doubt there's anybody in Nigeria who still can cope with that kind of a regime. But now look at Newsweek, look at Time Magazine. They're a shadow of their old selves.
That's true.
Because there are now fewer readers of the hard stuff. Hear the crinkle of the pages, feel the aroma of paper.
Yes.
And be in control of the entire magazine. Now you can read
everything online.
But you can't read everything online in the same way you take your magazine and you go from page 1 to the end at a measured pace. Now you have to look for who wrote so and so, and you go and get that. And how about the sports? You go and get the sports separately and all that.
There's even an information overload, because as you're reading something, another thing is popping up and distracting you. Yes.
Times are different.
That saying in Igbo is very apt. Ifuluka. If you live long,
you will see a little more.
See a little more.
A little more, yes.
That's good. Now, you've lived a bit, but you're still going to live a little more by the grace of God.
Amen.
Now, your health when you walked in today, I didn't see a hunch. I didn't see a shuffle. Yeah. I saw presence in your gait. What's responsible?
Did I tell you about Mama Yad?
Oh, yes. You reintroduced her.
Tell you what she said this morning before I left home.
Yes.
Now we talked about when I should leave today for this chat.
Yes.
And it's an empty nest, and so only two of us are there. And so we take our time to do everything. We eat late, we eat early, we sleep late, we wake late. I mean, apart from the only thing that more disciplines us for time is church. So we talked about when I leave today for this chat, and then she was still sleeping, and I'd woken up, and I'd gone around the house to open whatever needs to be open and put things right. Then I wanted to finish a book I started reading for some time, so I wanted to finish it before I came here. Yes. And then she woke up, somewhere along the line and said, and called from the bedroom, and I said, yes. Did you want me to come? I said, yes. So I came and said, what have you been doing since you woke up? I said, no, I was trying to finish that book. He said, is this compulsory you finish it today? Why didn't you take a walk? Why did you want to finish the book? You had taken a walk because you were going to drive, and you drive sitting down, you get there, you sit down and then from there you have another appointment, you go there and sit down. You should have taken a walk for at least 30 minutes. So walking is what's kept me.
Oh, lovely. Well, I read that the muscles of the legs, they do the most work.
They do the most. They carry the entire load.
They carry the entire load.
Yes.
So, as active as you keep them, you determine how
far you can walk and go. Yeah. But I had a fall 3 years ago on a film set. Yes. And dislocated my left knee, and so that is giving me a little bit of a swag.
Oh, a little bit of a swag. Okay. If you can share something with you, I had some sciatica episode some time ago.
Okay.
It affected my walking because I also walk.
Okay.
But my physiotherapist taught me something. Should I show you?
Please do.
Okay. This is it. Can you zoom? Okay, fine. This is it. Just like as we are seated.
Yes.
Fold your legs in like that.
Yes.
Stretch out.
Okay.
Tap your heel on the floor.
Okay.
That knee should give you a bit of a problem.
Yes,
but if you can do that, do like 50 times at a stretch because respectfully you're an old man. So it will build strength back into that knee. Yes.
Okay.
It would.
Super. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. That's why I like walking around elders, so I can learn from them. I also drop some hacks from them. You can
lovely. Certainly.
And you talked about a film set. How much of film work do you do now?
Film work, I came into it when I turned 70. And thank God, for that very first outing, which was a battleground.
Yes.
Because it then opened the road for other things to occur. But then, I'm an actor. I don't,
You don't dictate, you don't produce, you
don't
so when they call you.
So when they call me, so all I do is wake up in the morning and look up to heavens and say, God, this just could be the day that you made.
Yeah.
And somebody will call me and give me a good role.
Yeah.
A good role. I want a good role.
A good role.
A good role. Yes.
Yeah. But how much of an impact has it had on you?
Tremendous impact. Tremendous. You see, I told you a few minutes ago that even if I said so myself, I was successful in broadcasting.
Yes.
So I had a name.
Yes.
I had a name that was a good name.
Still is.
Thank you.
Still is. We still respect that name.
I don't have a face to the name. Because
Yes.
I didn't do much on television.
On TV then.
I only read the news not too long, NBC TV.
NBC TV, yes.
Yeah. But then, so that phase had gone. But Battleground gave me a face.
Mm-hmm.
So those who, very, very few people I remember, that I was in radio.
Yeah.
But then there are many more people who had seen me on TV. As General Horace Njoko.
Yes.
Seen me as other roles I've played, in television. So it's had an impact. That's one. Two, it's put some money into my pocket.
Good.
Yeah. So I look forward to doing it until the very end.
Until the whistle.
Until the whistle blows, yes. I wish, because it's a good, if I was to die in harness, I'd like to die, working as an actor. That's lovely.
That's really, really inspiring.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Because I have discovered that in this line of work, broadcasting, acting, voiceovers, which I know you do, you don't really retire.
You don't retire. You don't retire.
Even people will accuse you that you're even busier now than you were working
absolutely.
full time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something we really have to be grateful for.
Absolutely.
We're like doctors who really don't retire, or lawyers, those who never retire.
Never retire. Never ever retire.
They never retire.
Yes.
So, Uncle Ron, before we go, finally,
yes. Okay.
I'd like you to say something to us as Nigerians. Something hopeful. You know what it is like right now. A word of hope.
Wow. These are almost hopeless times around the world. Around the world. Now, you look at America. Look at America and what's going on there. I heard yesterday President Trump saying to Harvard University that had been there before his father was born,
Yes.
giving them conditions for who to employ and who to admit as students.
Or else they will not accept
Or else they
money.
won't accept money. That dangerous times.
Yes.
Nigeria, yesterday, 2 days ago, 50 people were killed in Plateau State. These are terrible times. But you see, I am a Christian. And therefore I'd say to our leaders, please think about the other man. Who is your neighbor? Who is your neighbor? Your neighbor is the person living next to you.
Yes.
Make an effort to ensure that he lives well.
Well.
Then you can live well. If he's not living well, you are not safe.
Yes.
We need to have a safer country. By far, what is going on around us is not a measure of who we are. No, we can do far better than we're doing. From the top to the bottom, we can do far better.
Well, you heard it. My guest, someone for whom I have great respect and admiration, the one and only Ron Mgbatogu, not Mgbatogu.
No, Mgbatogu, yes.
This is a man who is a broadcaster's broadcaster. He's an actor's actor and a writer's writer. Uncle Ron, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yes.
meeting you and talking with you.
I really look forward to the next time we'll do this.
That
This
was
can't
wonderful.
be the last
No,
time.
it can't be, shouldn't
It
be.
can't be.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So until we have another guest of great interest to us, I'd like to thank you for being on this edition with us of Timeless Conversations. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.